Those of you who are joining us on Facebook, we will be going live at 3:05. Hang in there for us. I've got everybody in the green room. Just letting everybody have a chance to find us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and all the social media sites that we've got running out there. And at 3:05, we will be going live. So hang in there for us, folks. I've got Miss Kimberly and Miss Shelby in the green room waiting patiently on us. Once again, those of you who are joining us live on the social media sites, we will be going live at 3:05. Got about 2 minutes left. I just thought I'd give everybody else a chance to join in. We're under a minute now, I guess. So just hang in there for us. We'll be going live here shortly. You're listening to WKDW Radio 97.5 and KDWRadio.com, broadcasting from the Bishop West Real Estate Mobile Tower right here in beautiful Northport, Florida. I have got Parks and Rec from the city of Northport joining me today, and I'm going to let Miss Kimberly start it out and introduce herself and go right into Miss Shelby. So, Miss Kimberly, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
And see, I started out with Kim, and now I'm reading Kimberly, and I can't get rid of Kimberly. So how are things holding up at City Hall with you guys getting ready to kick off a massive 4th of July undertaking?
It's going to be big. We've been very busy up here in City Hall and other facilities planning this. Shelby's team specifically. I'm just here for the ride.
That's fantastic. Miss Shelby, go ahead and introduce yourself real quick.
Yes, so thanks again for having us today, John. My name is Shelby Mendelson, and I'm the Recreation Manager for Parks and Recreation. So I oversee all of the signature events that we have throughout the years, and that does include our Freedom Festival event. So this event, as Kim had stated, is a big one, and it is massive, and we've been preparing for a little over 6 months for this event.
What's our largest crowd we've had at the event?
So far, when we were able to switch over to Cool Today Park, which has been a really great asset to be able to expand this event, we've had 10,000 attendees throughout the course of the 4-hour evening.
That's amazing, actually, when you think about it. You've got all kinds of things now. We've kind of massively grown up, I guess, from the high school days. Even though that was a fantastic event, fantastic venue, to move it over to the Northport Welland Park neighborhood and have it, at the Brave Stadium and the surrounding areas over there. They're massively growing. They're massively supportive. But highlight some of the things that have made, I don't want to say better, but anytime we do anything within the city, I think that's always our goal, is to do it better, no matter what the location. So kind of highlight some of the things that are going to make this venue even better this year than last.
Absolutely. That's a great question. So when we think Northport, we think automatically expansion, right? So Northport continues to grow and grow and grow. And it's imperative for us to be able to continue to expand these events. We now have the Welland Park area, that new area of Northport. It's a really hot place for them to go as well. So expansion is the biggest thing there. Each year, we do surveys at these events and we reach out to our community to really see what it is that they're wanting. What do they like? What do they want more of? What is it that's their need through our community needs assessment? So we're able to identify a few different niches, whether it's in our kids zone, having more inflatables versus other activities. What kind of music are people really listening to today? What is something that can reach a broad audience? We don't want to just be selective to one genre. Our national anthem, something that we're doing that's going to be really exciting this year is we're going to be switching it up a little bit. So if you don't know, we host an annual event called Northport's Got Talent. That's held in May at the Northport Performing Arts Center. We had a very successful year this past May. And one of our winners for the adult category, he is going to be playing our national anthem on an electric guitar.
Wow.
That is not something that we've done in the past, and it is going to be amazing. He is amazing. So I'm really excited to sort of bring that new aspect to the event. I think it's really going to sit well with a lot of people to have a different experience. And that's something that is very near and dear to our hearts here, is that national anthem with the addition of the color guard doing the presentation of colors. There's only one way to do it, and you want to do it right. So it's very important to us that we get that right. And we think changing it up a little bit is a really cool way to be able to implement that. We look at food vendors as another aspect, making sure that we have an array of different food vendors, and making sure that people have a good experience overall. We work closely with Pool Today Park staff throughout the planning process for this event, and they are more than helpful in making sure that everything is accommodated that we need to be accommodated.
With all the normalcy to an event, it is cool to change it up. It's a great thing to change it up. Kim, what's your take on this whole updating yet kind of holding tradition together?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that, because as the community partnership engagement manager, I have a different perspective of the event. I'm bringing in the different partners of the community to come in and help us make change. And the only way we can do that is with the support of the community. And this event, we were able to secure 18 different types of sponsors. So that's everything from a presenting sponsor to our in-kind sponsors. So with their help, we were able to bring in different types of amenities and things like and partnerships like that. So I think, like Shelby said, bringing in more bounce houses, face painters, other little surprises along the way, that's how we can keep it a fresh new event for everybody to enjoy.
And we've got just a small amount of kids here in Northport, 5 elementary schools dumping into 2 middle schools now, and we're growing into 1 high school, soon to be 2. We've got a large amount of kids, so being kid friendly is I think really the ultimate goal. Being Parks and Rec, flat out how much our parks are utilized by the kids in our neighborhoods. And I said this the other day when I had on our city manager, Jerome Fletcher. I said, our city is not truly set up as a city, it's set up as neighborhoods. And our Parks and Recs department has done a really good job keeping the parks in the neighborhoods, not just in the neighborhoods, but actually updated in the neighborhoods. And that is vitally important too. And to cross over into what you guys do with these events, they're really a great connecting tool, not just for Parks and Rec and the citizens, but citizens to citizens. Mm-hmm. Can you talk about that a little bit and what that means collectively and the feedback you get from citizens about that scenario?
Yeah, that's a really great way to sort of tie the two together. So a lot of our signature events and even community events, that's our forward-facing moment, right? That's when we get to interact with our community. We get to have those conversations, take those questions, and also receive feedback. It is always our goal to have parks within all of our neighborhoods and all of our systems, and that's something that we do an analyzation of all the time to make sure that we are really reaching all of Northport and not just one section. So that goes into our master plan as well.
Well, there's two things I'm going to bring up too that we can add in. First, the partnership that WKDW Radio has with the citizens of Northport as a community radio station and the city of Northport. We are now the voice of Northport as far as the emergency broadcasting network for the citizens. So the next hurricane that they have, they can actually turn to 97.5 FM and hear us and get the updates directly from City Hall. But on top of that, we actually play the venue during the fireworks and really promote that out live on the radio, and we do it to music. So that's also another format that is out there that wasn't there, 5, 6, 7 years ago. Kimberly, I see you shaking your head.
Yeah, I think that's part of the unique part of the event and keeping that community tight-knit feeling that Northport has. And I think we see that throughout all of our events, right? I'm a newbie here, so I think I have this outsider perspective that each of the events do have that very homegrown feeling that you see your neighbor at the event. And that's a way of reaching your neighbor when they can't make it to our event. And we live stream the event on our Facebook page as well and broadcast it that way. So there's multiple touch points to have somebody be a part of the event, whether they're there physically with us or through the radio or through our Facebook page.
Anything to add to that, Shelby?
No, I really think Kim hit on it there. The only thing I would add is the partnership we have to play that music is, it sort of started with COVID a little bit, right? So we wanted to make sure we had the social distancing, but it's one of those things that sort of stuck after, if someone is not, on site to be able to watch those fireworks, but they're, within the area, they can turn on the radio and hear that music going along with the fireworks show. So I think it really does touch to that piece.
Any time that I think the partnerships, not just the radio station. So I'm not just talking radio here, but we are a nonprofit organization and we are partnered with the city of Northport, like other nonprofit organizations that you guys work with. That's the building blocks to a great city, believe it or not, is to have those organizations out there who are able to help the less fortunate, in the time of need during a crisis like Ian, or even stepping up their game to do certain things within a really highlighted spotlight of the city of Northport, because I believe that's what this is. We're really highlighting the city of Northport.
Agree.
And Parks and Rec is what steps up and helps us shine because of the organization. That also brings a lot of visibility to the city, not just with other cities, other staff around the counties, but it really highlights what our community is to other citizens who may want to move to Northport. Can you talk about the connection with Parks and Rec and the importance to the citizens of Northport on why it's such a valuable piece?
Yeah. So looking at those nonprofits, like you had mentioned, John, they're a huge part of our event, whether they're a sponsor or they're a vendor. The people that are surrounding this event and are a part of this event are our community. They're our neighbors. There are businesses, from the food trucks to the individuals that are helping us out with the kids zone on the event lawn. Those are all Northport businesses. So I think it's really instrumental for us to come together as a community. And yes, we spearhead it, but we would not be able to do it without those connections that we've made through putting on this event.
Kim, do you have anything to add there?
Yeah, I think when people see how many community supporters there are tied to an event like this, I think that does trigger something within somebody to say, that is a community that I want to be a part of because everybody is contributing to making something great.
Absolutely, and that teamwork, that camaraderie,
Mhm.
whether we all think that it shows,
Mhm.
it massively shows when you put on an event like this, and you've kind of fine tuned it over the years. I do a volunteer Ohio State Buckeye group, and we have one major event at the end of the year. And what I found, and I know I can switch this back to you guys, is that each and every year the support staff gets more engaged. Everybody wants to make it better. Everybody wants to find a way for the people who attend to leave there with a smile on their face no matter what. But it's the end result is that everybody wants just a smooth event that really shines,
Mhm.
and it's ironic. So we can tear it down and rebuild it again the next year and make it even better.
Yeah.
I love that aspect of it
Yep.
because the tear down is just as good as the build up.
Yeah.
And to, can you, I see the smiles because I know you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Can you guys both, and I'll give it to you, Kim, first, but take that smile and tell people why you're smiling
Yeah.
about that.
For me, I think, and I hope I can speak for Shelby and the team. For me, events is a way for us to give back to the community. We eat, sleep, and breathe it. It's our way to show how much we at Parks and Recreation do care for the community, and it's like our little gift that we give to them. So we want them to feel exactly what we're feeling during that day. So during that planning cycle, we're putting everything that we have into it, and the day that it comes and it takes off and everything just hits, that's there's nothing more sweeter than that moment. And then when it's all over, you get that moment of and then we're like right back at it. Okay,
Yep.
let's tackle the next one.
Right.
So there's just that little moment of rest until we hit that next one running.
Awesome. Shelby, you have anything to add?
Yeah, so from a planning perspective, like I said, we really start these big signature events like 6 to 8 months out, and even prior to that, in part of the budget cycle. So these are long processed events and going from the beginning to the end. And something that I really stress with my team and we hold strong to as a department is we do not settle. We are never comfortable. We are never, we never think that we've hit the top mark or anything like that. We always strive to do better. Even if everything was great and everything went off without a hitch, that's wonderful. We love that. But there's always room for growth and improvement. So that's something we really, really stress and we really try to do. Sometimes funding can be a difficult piece there, right? There's only so much budget available, and it's how can we get creative? What can we do to continue to expand on this level of service while still keeping within the financial means that we've been given? So creativity is a big piece of it. And yeah, just really making sure that we are continuing to educate ourselves. We attend annual conferences through our organization, FRPA, and we're able to really keep up to date on trends and that type of thing there.
Well, the biggest part now is that I think to highlight some of the pay attention tos or the hot topics of what people should do to not just have a great time, but maybe enhance their great time. What are some of the tips that you would hand out? And I'll go to you, Kim, first, and then we'll slide over to Shelby.
Yeah. So right off the bat, the must-haves. Pay attention to our website. It's northportfl.gov/freedomfest. Freedom Festival, excuse me. That has all you need to know for the day from our event map, our MOTs, so that you know how to get in and out of the event. It has our Everbridge code, Freedom 24, so that you can be up to date on all the safety information. So everything you need to know. And then it kind of your sort of staples: drink lots of water, wear your sunblock. It's going to be a hot day, and bring a really positive attitude. Nobody's going to be a Debbie Downer. I promise you, we're there to help you. So go to the staff, ask us any question. If we don't know, we will find somebody to know to answer your questions. So those are my top tips.
And Shelby.
Yeah. So definitely water, like Kim mentioned. It is going to be hot, but we know that as true Floridians here. I will tell you from my perspective, and I can speak on my staff as well, we love this event. This is probably one of our favorite events that we do. So we are happy to be there, and we are happy to help, and are willing to do whatever is needed to make sure everyone has a great time. Kim had mentioned the website. I do encourage everyone to take a look at the traffic plan that is on that website that sort of talks about the way in which traffic will go. If residents or patrons have been to the Braves games, any of the Braves games, it is the same setup as that. Northport Police Department will be out there. Carpooling is a really, really great option. So although we have a good amount of parking at Cool Today Park, we do encourage carpooling to make sure that we can get enough parking for everyone that wants to attend the event. We have a list of activities that will be posted here shortly. We want everyone to keep an eye out for those, and that includes times for the kids zone. It includes times for the food vendors, for the band and the music. We're going to have a little line dancing expo, which will be fun. So if you have your cowboy or cowgirl boots, I encourage you to bring those. That's going to be a good time. So yeah, positive attitude, and just a really a good time will be had.
Go ahead.
I have one more. Dress in your most festive gear too. We're going to be dressed up, so go ahead, knock it out of the park. Dress in your festive gear.
No pun intended. That was good, Kim.
That was.
Here's the other thing. Can you talk about the facilities themselves? So we're in a newer area, so our trees are not mature in that area. So shade is essential too. Can you talk about what people should bring to kind of create their environment pre-fireworks, but be able to take them down after the fireworks go so people can still see?
Yeah, that's a good question.
And things like that.
That's a good question. So we do not allow tents on the event lawn. You are able to bring chairs though, if you wanted to sit in those areas. I always recommend heading up to the breezeway of Cool Today Park. That's where all of our vendors are. There's a really nice shaded area over there, and you catch a good breeze. So if I could make a recommendation, that would be my recommendation to patrons attending the event, to go up there to catch a breeze. In the stadium, again, you're at a higher level, so you're going to catch a breeze where you're at. The event lawn will tend to get a little bit warmer because, as you mentioned, there is not a huge amount of shade coverage over there. But we will have our Parks and Recreation tent, and we will have fire rescue on scene should anyone need any assistance.
And I think the big thing is, if you are going to sit out there, we'd never hurt on the 4th of July because we're kind of going into rainy season, but never hurts to have your umbrella, even if you carried a little portable. Create your own little shade with your umbrella. If you're going to sit out there, adapt to what we are talking about. You can't have an easy up, you can't have a tent, but guess what? Nobody's going to tell you to put your umbrella away, but you could always kind of angle that and kind of protect yourself, at least from direct sun, and get the sun off of you. And because of the buildings out there now, I think if there is any sort of breeze, it kind of does help create a little bit of a draw around the buildings, kind of creating its own little kind of wind tunnel sometimes, which is kind of nice. So highlighting those things along with the fluids, the food that's going to be out there, that's essential too. But make sure that if you are at all vulnerable to that, bring a small umbrella, something you can even throw in your purse, and create your own shade, just so you can keep that temperature down in your own little individual space. Even the microfiber towels now that they have that are designed for keeping you cool longer. You dip them in water, you put them around your neck. It's amazing how those things work. The other side of it, my wife found the on the shoulder fans. They're on Amazon. They are definitely, if you go to a concert or out to a function like that, she won't go without hers, and they last all day. So keep that in mind. But also, charging cell phones. Is there going to be a charging station, or should people prepare for that with their portable batteries?
You will want to bring your portable batteries for sure.
Yep. Those are, all those little highlighted things that we all think about when we're out and about doing our thing. You're shaking your head, Kim. Is there something else that you want to add in?
We will be on site taking photos. So we take as many photos as we can at these events, and we will have a library of photos that folks will be able to download a couple days after the event when we've cleaned them up. So there's always that opportunity to catch somebody with, it's either going to be me or my colleague Whitney taking them. But yeah, definitely charge them up, but we'll be there taking photos as well. Awesome.
So we've got, we kind of cleared out that first piece. We got the where, the when, the basic details. What's the date again?
July 4th.
Surprise. So if anybody misses that, it's July 4th, the July 4th festival at Cool Today Park, better known as the greatest center ever in Northport, I think. The venue itself, if you're going to drive, get there early. Parking is available. The Northport PD is awesome at taking care of any events there. So your timing to get out could be fun, because anytime you have a large amount of people at a venue, gear yourself towards not trying to be the first one out the door. Just relax, take your time, enjoy the event pre, during, and post. You don't want to get in trouble on the way home. Just relax, take your time. I think that's the biggest part, is that people do get tired towards the end of the day, and tempers can maybe go a little awry after an event like that, because some drivers are different. I always prefer just sit down, relax. It doesn't hurt to be the last one out, because you're not the last. You're never the last. There's always somebody just lingering out there. Relax getting out, though, and I think that would help the police department. Fire department does a great job with the fire rescue side of things. So if you see anybody in harm's way, find a staff member, find a police officer, find a fire department personnel, and get that information to them. Are you guys going to be highlighted in different shirts, or a different colored shirt, or one that says staff?
Yes, the team will have on red City of Northport shirts on the back that says event staff in big white letters. We will most likely have some type of headband or hat or something patriotic on as well.
Yeah.
I think we kind of highlighted all those things, and I'm going to slide into real quick the playbook, because I find that to be a valuable piece to share with anybody every time we're on the air. But can you guys talk about the playbook here real quick and kind of highlight that before we slide over to the Aquatic Center?
Yeah, sure. The new playbook will be out for the event, so we're excited. That'll cover the next half of the year, and then we'll have that link just before we leave for the event, link to our northportfl.gov/playbook online.
And anything to add, Shelby?
Nope.
I didn't think so, but
we'll have it for the event, though. We are super excited.
Hint. If you're new to Northport, if you're looking to get involved in the city of Northport, that playbook is amazing. So stop by the Chamber of Commerce and pick one up. Tell them we all sent you. But the Chamber of Commerce is actually very involved. They're a huge asset for the city of Northport, all the businesses. They're just a key player. They're on 41. next to Anna Maria Oyster Bar. And if you can find a parking spot, because that is one of the hottest restaurants in town right now, that would be a great spot for anyone to stop by. One, learn about our city, but also pick up material about our city. And they've got great stories to tell. They've got great insight on what's happening schedule wise, but they're a huge asset. I'm going to slide into the Aquatic Center, and I'm kind of going to let Kim take the lead on it, and then slide over to Shelby on this one. But I love the Aquatic Center. I think it's
Me
a
too.
huge value to and I've been on both sides of the conversation with people who want to talk bad, and I've been on the side that people want to talk good. I want to highlight the greatness real quick on my perspective as somebody who has granddaughters and somebody who has raised two boys and taught them both to swim. And now I've taught my granddaughter, Ellie Rose, how to swim. Mm-hmm. Our second grade program is the most essential part of every citizen in Northport. And any of you naysayers, don't care who you are, I'm talking to you now, any naysayers that don't think there's a value in what we are doing for all of the youth in our area, and I'm going to highlight the second graders. That program is saving lives, and that's truly what that right there. I get goosebumps just by saying that to the citizens of Northport. That saves lives because we're changing water safety habits. We have 80 miles of canals. We've got a swimming pool that gets them educated and moves things forward for them. But that's my highlight. That's what I truly love about the greatness that brings. But I'm going to throw it back at you and see if you can top it, Kim. Go ahead.
Yeah, you did a wonderful job. So the program you're talking about is that our second graders go through is Mond to Swim, where all of our second graders through the Northport school system go through. And last year, I believe the number was 696 students went through that program. In the year alone, community at large was 792, I believe it was, somewhere to the tune of it. The exact numbers on our website. I wish Devon Poulos, our aquatic manager, was here, because if you want to talk passion about aquatics safety or in, on, and around the water, he is truly passionate about it. Our whole aquatic staff is really passionate about it. You need to understand that it's not just pool water. It's, as Devon would say, bath water as well. Understanding and teaching your children how to open their eyes underwater, how to act around water, being alert as a parent around water. And it's not just the child's understanding of the water, it's also the parent's understanding of the water. Yep. So we take very much pride in our knowledge of it and teaching it at the community. So through our winter months, it is about the students going through it, but it's all year long. We're teaching swimming lessons today, and you can choose a swimming lesson patch that works for you. All our lessons are posted online. That's northportfl.gov/pool. And you can choose a program that is right for you. All the students or families that are interested in lessons go through an assessment that just tells the Aquatic Center what your level of ability is. And then they put you in a swimming lesson that's right and tailored for you.
And I'm going to say this, Devon, Trish, all of them have been on this show. I can't speak highly enough about the entire staff there, let alone the fact that the impact that they know they're making. That's why the passion is there. It's when you question sometimes, are we making an impact? They're not questioning that.
Right.
They're actually very, very committed.
In just an hour and a half. We just had world's largest swimming lesson on the 20th, and I watched Devon take a little girl in just a half an hour who refused to float, to having her cradled in his arms to floating. So, and that was just working at her pace, and it was just a really cool thing to watch. Mm-hmm.
I get it. Shelby, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I cannot speak highly enough of our aquatics team. And Devon is just extremely passionate about everything he does. He works so hard day in and day out at all of the facilities that we have, and is such a great member of the team. Something that I really value. You know, when you think of the Northport Aquatic Center, a lot of people think family fun, which yes, it is. I mean, where else to go other than the aquatic center to take your kiddos for a fun day at the water park and make those memories with your neighbors and all of that. But they're also so heavily focused on education. You know, we had the Safe at Home series that just took place that was throughout the summer, and it was all about water education. And I think that team brings so much to the community in terms of education and fun both. So I really think that they do an awesome job balancing both and making themselves stand apart in the field that way.
And you know, I pick a little bit at the naysayers out there in the world, but sometimes the justification of expenditure is more citizen based than it is the bottom line. And I think as a realtor, anytime that the city can add value back to the citizens, and that's what our parks do. We don't have beachfront. We don't have the luxury of being within 5-minute walk to the beach. I call us the hub. We're kind of blessed. We've got access to 9 to 12 different beaches all over the area within a half hour to 45 minutes, let alone just going a little north of us into Sarasota and going to Siesta Key. And I'm counting these little beaches along the Inglewood area and out on the island. And when you take into consideration all of the opportunities that we have as citizens to go swimming along the beachfront, you also have to take into consideration anytime that you take your kids, they have to survive it too. Having the ability to go into water and know how to swim, even if it's just the first few classes where you're able to cradle the child and teach them to float, just float. Sometimes that's all it takes is that amount of seconds to save a life. Mm-hmm. And the one thing I'll tell you is that I had my granddaughter in the pool and she said, I can swim. And I said, go ahead, swim. Let me see you. Come down here in the deep end with me. 5 foot. Mm-hmm. I'm 5'10", so I'm good. I can touch bottom. She found out she couldn't swim. The realization that you think you can and then you can't changed her moment. And here's where it did. And this is the same thing that Devon did, is that moment you can't, but you want to, is when the kid changes. Mm-hmm. It's, I can't, I'm scared, relax, take your time. If it's, I want to, I'm scared, but I think I can. Now you captured someone who wants to learn, who wants to progress, and they go leaps and bounds from where they started in 30 to 50 minutes, just leaps and bounds. You want to change your life, go to a swim class and watch our staff do that with our citizens here in our city. That's what changes everything. Our city yet has not been recognized for the things that kids can go do. The difference is our Parks and Recs department is that. people are forgetting that the Parks and Rec in our city is the essential part to keeping our kids playing in certain areas, doing their thing, and really keeping them from doing damage because they're bored out of their mind. We're very blessed to have a great park system and one that updates and kind of creates that environment. We just did that at City Hall with our park there, didn't we? Wasn't
Yes.
it City Hall? Yeah.
Yeah, our GMAC playground just got refurbished. It's a brand new playground. I shouldn't even say refurbished. It was at the end of its life. We replaced it with a new patriotic theme. We had a rocket launch with the community, which was so much fun. We had a partner help us do that. So yeah, we are on top of replacements.
We talk about the events, City on the Green. We do all those things, and it really brings our city together. Those events and the Freedom Festival. If you go into the Freedom Festival and you got a chip on your shoulder, you're at the wrong event.
Yeah.
Stay home. Don't do it. Because you're going to run into way too many happy people. But parks in general are especially our parks are not known for anything but a good time. Every time I've ever taken my citizens, the new citizens who purchase or who are looking to purchase through our parks and just shown them, here's what we offer, they're dumbfounded. Mm-hmm. It's a highlight of our city. So it's an essential part. You guys play a huge role. The other thing I'll say is you play a huge role in keeping it graffiti and trash free. If someone were to see something at one of our parks and want to turn that in, how would they do that?
They could do it two ways. They can report it through North Report, or they can send an email to, they could do it three ways actually. They can send an email to parks@northportfl.gov, or they can send an email to me directly at klensky@northportfl.gov, or report it through Facebook.
And it's very essential to hear back from citizens like that. And what happens if they report through North Report? I've explained this a lot, but give them a highlight of what that means as a citizen and their feedback.
It goes directly to the communications team, and within 24 hours or less, they should be receiving some sort of communication back that it's been received and some sort of steps are being taken.
Awesome. And just real quick, and then I'll go to Shelby to follow up, but potholes, anything like that you see out there, the North Report app is, I've used it. Oh my gosh, it is power in your hand to get a response. Utilize the app. It is probably one of the best things we've ever done as far as communication directly into the system. I just think we're blessed to have it. Shelby, is there anything you'd like to add?
No, definitely. I would push forward that North Report app and going through that chain of communication to report any of those issues identified.
So we've got a couple things I want to add into the Aquatic Center. Do we have the hours of operation for the summertime?
Yes. Hours of operation are Sunday through Thursday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. I had to think about it. I do all the marketing for it. And then Friday and Saturday until 7 p.m.
I knew I was going to ask you a trick question.
You almost got me, John.
Shelby, I'll slide over to you with this one, but how about swim lessons? We talked about that. Is there still time for signups, and how does that transition?
So you can definitely go onto our website and take a look at those swim options there. I know that they are very, very busy this summer. So if you have any questions, you can definitely call into 941-429-7275, also known as 941-429-PARK. and someone would be able to assist you if you were interested in swimming lessons. My son personally was able to do swimming lessons over the summer, and I cannot commend the aquatic staff enough. They are a true team of professionals, and I would definitely recommend.
I'll tell you, any kid that's watching, or any parent that's watching who has watched their kid, grandkid learn how to swim, and they're there for that moment. Whew, I love my granddaughters, and I can't wait for Evie T to be able to swim too. But to watch Ellie Rose like go leaps and bounds, and it was so much fun. And I just hope that more people start wrapping their hands around it and realize we have it now. It's not going anywhere. All of the complaining, just put it to bed. You can't, I guess you can complain about it for the rest of your life. How negative are you going to make it? You might as well wrap your hands around the positive that's coming from it. I think that with anything that happens in this city, while everyone can learn something from some of the negative so we can fix things, yeah, we always have to work on things. But man, why can't we learn to embrace the positive and drive that home too? We have enough naysayers out there in this world about our city. We certainly as citizens don't need to be the leaders of the band, so to speak. I love our city. I think we do a great job, and I love promoting it. I will say this because the naysayers out there are going to say he just agrees with the city. I don't agree with the city on everything. I just love my city enough not to tear it down. How about that? I love our Parks and Recs, though. I think you guys do a fantastic job. I think that any time that we can introduce our citizens back to nature, and in doing that, I think we have an event coming up that does exactly just that on July 27th. Isn't that the case?
Yes, there is.
With a show of hands, who wants to do that one? All right. Kim, you're up again.
We have Northport Nature Walks on the 27th, and that's going to be at the Myakkahatchee Creek Greenway Trail. Yep. You're going to start at the Appomattox side of the trail, and then that is in partnership with the Environmental Conservancy of Northport. Yep. And we'll take you through the trail. We're going to look at all different types of species of animals and plants, and at the end, if you want to stay and volunteer, if we see any invasive species at the end, we try to take them out of the trail, and we just enjoy the whole day. So time, that is from 9 to 11.
See, and I liked what you just said. So invasive species, we have those here. Yeah. So that's a really big problem with I think not just our community, but surrounding areas for sure. But I think that's around the country. Yeah. More of this, the global marketplace. We have a tendency of seeing things that in the United States that, back in probably in the 70s, we never had. And we have them more today because of how the markets work and the transition of people, I think. We tend to bring things with us and relocate them. And I think that's one form. But having this nature walk and educating people on this, how many people do we have that go on the nature walk when we have an event like this?
There's usually about 20 to 30 people. It depends on the walk. We have self-guided walks where you can go at your own pace. We do cap these to keep them a smaller group so that we can have a nice conversation about the different species that you're seeing and that. So it's controlled on purpose. So you do have to register prior to going. So thank you for bringing that up. And you can do that on our website.
Yeah, and it's that there is something to be said about keeping it small, but the intimacy of it all too. if you take 100 people out there, one, they're not all staying on the path. They're all trying to get around you to listen.
Yeah.
And so there's, in the environment that you're in, you could cause more harm by having massive amounts of people out there trying to gather around just to hear a speaker. So keeping it really fine tuned, I even think it becomes more of I think the information side of it gets to people a lot more thorough because they're hearing all of the information.
Yeah, they're hearing all the information and they're asking all the questions that they have. These are very informative walks that we have.
Fantastic. Shelby, you have anything to add?
Yep. So like Kim had mentioned, the enrollment is part of this program. So we do encourage you to enroll ahead of time. It's supposed to be a really nice day. This will be our first walk on that new Greenway Trail. So staff is very much looking forward to it.
So we've got a whopping 6.5 minutes left. We've almost blown through this hour, believe it or not. I'm going to ask each of you, name your favorite park. And I'm going to start with Shelby.
Okay, good. Then Kim can't steal mine.
That's right.
So I get to go first.
Different, Kim.
Okay, if I had to pick one park, I would have to pick the Garden of the Five Senses Park. That is a Northport favorite, I would say, across the board. From the adaptive playground, I think is a really, really nice touch. The resurfacing had just taken place over there. We now have a storybook stroll that Kim's team has worked super, super hard on. That is a really great asset where the patrons can walk around the trail and there's a little storybook out there for them to read. And then you also have the opposite side of the park that's a little bit more quiet. You'll be able to see a lot of flora and fauna over there. And it's just a really nice park to be able to provide to the community. And I think the playground is pretty amazing. I had to say so.
Fantastic. Kim.
I'll drop a little secret. That park might be opening later this week.
Wow. Great insight.
Yeah. My favorite park, and Shelby, I wasn't going to steal it actually. My favorite park is Oaks Park because it was my first official park that I did a walking trail on. I did it with the recreation team and the Conservancy. It was lovely to watch. So that is my favorite park, but it's also because it's where our Northport gnome, Ranger Oakley, is from. So there's a little magic in the air there.
Well, so I'm going to tell you, gosh, my favorite park. I'm gonna go back old school for a second. I didn't get to do it, but my boys did, which was the skate park. So, we had that. We had the BMX park.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one of my favorite parks, I'm in love with the Aquatic Center. I am. I'm in love with the Aquatic Center because not only does the Aquatic Center have aquatics, but we have the Morgan Center, which is amazing. We also have the outdoor basketball courts and the outdoor park and the playground, which is, to me, a real cool venue to have all that in one location. We also have the canoe launch there. And then we have the outside fields, which are the soccer fields and everything else. When you look at that park, and I know that I picked the biggest one and I clumped it all in one, but you park your car and you have it all. Yep. You can go work out in the morning, swim your laps after you're done working out, get your exercise in there, go over and play some basketball, have some lunch, do a cookout, and watch some soccer in the afternoon. I'm good with that. Yeah. That's a whole Saturday. But to me, that's one of my favorites because it is, one, centrally located. It it is not in a neighborhood, so it is utilized differently, and people do travel to it to highlight the value of it. People do travel to it and utilize it. Anytime that you take a park and you have to travel to versus walking 3 blocks over in your neighborhood, that's a different. I had, when I was a kid, I had that, and I loved our park as a kid. We didn't have nearly what we have at parks today. I'm not gonna, say that I'm 60, but I'll be 61 in August. So, I will tell a quick story again on my granddaughters, but more on my son's behalf. They were playing in a gym in Muncie, Indiana, and he kept telling her to get down because she might fall. And I said, "What's she gonna fall on?" And he goes, "The grass." Well, we have special parks that have really great surface to fall on. And I started laughing, and he said, "What are you laughing at?" And I said, "I fell on pavement." So I don't tell me that grass is going to hurt you. I fell on blacktop. That's where we played, and that's where our playgrounds were. So parks have come a long way for the parents out there that need educated on what our parks have as far as surfaces. But we really don't have a lot of blacktop surface other than basketball court and tennis court areas. But our parks are really set up so if a kid did fall, at least they're falling on mulch or a special surface, correct?
Correct. Yeah, correct.
Shelby, we've got 30 seconds left. Anything to add in?
I would like to put out there for everyone to keep an eye out. July is Parks and Recreation Month, and we do have some fun, interactive opportunities for the community coming. So just keep an eye out on our social pages and our city website for what's to come in July.
Anything to add in, Kimberly?
Well, Shelby took mine, so I'll go. If you're ever curious about what we do, we were recently nominated for a Gold Award, and we put together a 5-minute video, and that is on our Park and Recreation page, so northportfl.gov/parks and recreation. Check it out. We do a lot, and we're happy to serve.
Awesome. This is John Rawlings with WKDW Radio 97.5 FM. And the City of Northport Parks and Recs Department saying thanks for listening in. Please share this video, get it out there so that people can hear directly from staff about the upcoming events. We look forward to seeing you out at the Freedom Festival on July 4th. Don't forget July 4th. All right. Thank you so much. Bye-bye now.
Thanks, John.
Bye.
Bye.